Hi, I'm Trent Maxwell.
And I'm Lee Mason.
And we want to welcome you to our Live, Learn, Survive podcast. Since 2018, Lee and I traveled the globe and met face-to-face with over 26,000 children in 6 countries across 3 continents. We created a series of award-winning children's books, Maxie's Rescue Squad, and are now founders of our Live, Learn, Survive charity. All focused on teaching teens and young adults life skills and not only help themselves, but help others too. We take what we do very seriously, ourselves not so much, as you soon will hear. So let's spend the next half an hour together with some fun, inspiration and kindness, and we'll try and learn something too. How are you this week, Lee?
Maxie, I am good because as you kind of know, we're still on holiday, but at the moment we're not yet on holiday, and we've got another special guest.
Yes, I'm very excited to speak.
I'm
to
so
these
excited
guys.
today. So
they reached out a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
On the other side of the world.
The power of social media.
Very similar to what I do as a lifeguard here in Sydney, and I can't wait to hear their story and what they're doing over in Costa Rica.
Absolutely. So using social media for good, these friendships develop. So today we are joined by the Santa Teresa Lifeguards from Costa Rica. So we have Thomas Ritchie, who is the founder of the Santa Teresa Lifeguards. He's a surfer, a waterman, and a pillar of the community, I hear. And also we're being joined by his daughter, Avalon, who is one of the volunteer lifeguards for the Santa Teresa Lifeguards. They founded the Lifeguards in 2014, established after 3 tragic drowning events. And what we want to do today is showcase lifeguarding in their part of the world. So welcome, Thomas and Avalon.
Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nice introduction. We're happy to be here.
Oh, we are thrilled to have you. Absolutely. So I'll start off. We're going to ask you a few questions. So the first thing, for anybody that doesn't know your beautiful part of the world, tell us about Santa Teresa and Costa Rica.
Well, we are located on the Nicoya Peninsula. It's in the middle of the country. You can take a ferry here or a long drive, about 6 hours out of the capital. And we're a new town, only really about 20 years old as a destination. We've been living here for 33 years. The first 5 years without electricity. So it was very quiet, just a few people. And it got going around 2000. And the numbers started to increase. And it's a very beautiful land and surf area and very tropical. And we're based beside the Cabo Blanco Reserve. And most people come here for surf and yoga and a lot of partying. It's a lot of young people. It's kind of a weird dynamic. It's just there's a night crowd and a day crowd. And so a lot of drugs and alcohol and, a lot of, uneducated people for surfing and a lot of currents and a lot of geographical, so many beaches that are unprotected, no education in the surfing, in the schools. So we're at the brunt of that down here in this beautiful paradise. And we're just trying to educate too and let everybody know what's going on.
You can see how when you said all those different factors to how you do your lifeguarding, there's so many things going on. So kudos.
I could feel Maxie's shoulders tensing every bit of that conversation of like, whoa, exactly.
Sorry
There's
about
a lot going on.
Opened up a can of worms.
Recipe for disaster, and it's amazing that you guys started in 2014 to make the place better, more safer. So a really big pat on the back to you guys. That leads us into the next question. Tell us about your lifeguard service. Just your service. Tell us, your team, what you guys do for training.
So almost 9 years old. So 10-year anniversary next year.
Yeah.
How do you recruit?
Big party next year. So we run solely on volunteer lifeguards all year round. We have about three lifeguards, myself included, that live here full-time year-round. And most of us are volunteers from all over the world. People can come here. obviously they have to be certified lifeguards, and they come here for a minimum of 2 weeks, 6 weeks,
4 weeks to
to 3 months, and they live in our lifeguard house in our headquarters.
17 beds.
Yeah, we fit 17, and and basically all they have to do is it's an exchange. They work one shift 6 days a week, so they get one free day, and the shifts are only 5 hours. We open our towers from 8:15 to 6:15 every day.
5 towers.
Yeah.
So 5 towers every day, 365 days a year. And for someone that's listening that is potentially they've got the qualifications and they want to get in touch, they'll obviously will put how to get in touch with you guys. But is it as easy as of sending an email or reaching out?
You send an email to the main lifeguard organization email, Santa Teresa Lifeguards at Gmail, I think it is. And basically you send your swim times and they look over your application, and then you basically we're looking for lifeguards with ocean experience.
Yeah.
Yes.
He looks for surfers. He wants surfers.
Surfers, yeah. Exactly. Well, you know what? Down at Bondi, we work with the surf clubs, the volunteers, but we also admire and look for surfers that are out in the surf every day. We get a lot of the grassroots of young surfers, people that have grown up on the beach to join the lifeguards, not necessarily having a life-saving background. But I could see what Thomas was saying. It's always good to get some surfers because they're
waterman skills.
And a lot of the time when tragedies do happen, and as you'd probably both know, being surfers, is sometimes the lifeguards will be in the towers or they'll be doing their patrols. There'll be a medical episode or something will kick off out in the surf. A lot of the time the surfers are potentially first on scene. So there's numerous amount of programs where we're trying to educate surfers as well, not just the people around the waterways, but the surfers to be fast and quick first responders as well. So it's awesome.
I have one nice thing to say about Australia for you guys.
One nice thing.
We want to thank Australia, and I think it was Mark Banting, one of the pro surfers who started 24/7.
That's what I was just going to say, 24/7.
Yeah, well, we copied that program, and we've made it into sometimes a 2 and 3 day courses, and we've taught over 150 surfers randomly over the last 9 years. We give them a rash guard. It's called guard a surf guard, and they learn the whole 24/7 program plus a little bit of more CPR, a little bit more. We've extended it a little bit. Yeah. We offer it as a free course. You get a rash guard at the end. And we really believe here that the more surfers and local surfers that we can get that are strong watermen or waterwomen to, learn that water safety, to put your board, first and let the people grab the board so they don't drown you and defuse the people. And one of the things we ask, from a lesson that we learned is we try to get every lifeguard to ask how many people in your party. Who is with you? Is there any other people there? One question that people seem to not remember in the time of a rescue, they concentrate on the people and they didn't know that there was just somebody who drifted off just very close. And how we started was from a big rescue that happened where a group of 7 drifted out at sunset around some rocks, and about 6 guys went out with boards and went around the corner, grabbed them all, came back in, and in the whole commotion didn't realize there was 7 and they only rescued 6 and the other one was there.
Wow. And it's like you were saying, situational awareness is very important. You need to know your surroundings, you need to know how many people are in the party and so on. But the skills that surfers can learn can be life-saving. So. Yeah.
And the technique of the paddling with your feet up and getting the patient to lie on, or the victim to lie on your back with their head on their butt is ingenious. When I learned that from that, that course, I was like, wow, that's a game changer for dragging people, in.
Yeah,
with your
definitely.
board.
And then using the currents and the surf to your advantage to be able to get that person in as quickly and as safely as possible as well without losing them. So you can do the leg tuck, like you were saying, and it's gold.
Call it the leg tuck. Okay. Another thing I wanted to touch on was just recently, within 2 months ago, we had a body surfer, an older gentleman, body surfing by himself in a little lone stretch of the beach with a pretty solid shore pound, and must have tucked into some kind of barrel and bam, slammed the bottom, hit his head, knocked himself unconscious, gave him a big strawberry. And with, people were walking by, we had reports of them watching him and
before tower hours.
Early 6, 7 in the morning or whatever.
Yeah, it was great. The reason we got there was because we had the 7 a.m. training. On Tuesdays and Fridays, we have a physical training that's mandatory. Mm-hmm. And it's basically we practice rescue techniques and we work on cardio and running, swimming, entering, classic lifeguard workouts. Yeah,
that's really
so
cool.
They were there and got to the victim, but it was a little bit too late, sad to say. But again, what we were trying to learn from this lesson is, the buddy system. And if he would have been with a friend or somebody else or somebody, the chances of survival is so much more.
Yeah.
So we, tried to turn it around in a positive way. And that's how our Lifeguard Association got formed, was a double drowning in 2014 with a 2-year-old baby and a lady. The baby walked off into the water. She seen it. She came up and grabbed the baby. By the time she had the baby, she was in up to her waist and just couldn't walk out and just kind of floating out. It was very small waves, very dead low tide, a little bit of current sucking out. And before you knew it, she was floating and trying to hold the baby and very shortly drowned. And that affected our community so much that it brought everybody together, and also there was a thing that happened about a year before that. The Costa Rican government realized that they needed to make all lifeguard or all surf instructors take a basic CPR lifeguarding course. So It just so happened about a dozen of our local guys had gone down to Jaco, to another beach community, taken a 5-day course with Marvin, this local guy, and had been certified over this last year.
Just with CPR skills.
Just with CPR, very basic, like a very crude lifeguarding. They all thought they were lifeguards, these guys, like when they came back. Right? It was like a 24/7 course, a little extended kind of more.
Yeah.
And anyway, so they all stepped right up. Like they're like, hey, let's get together. Come on, we want to help. So we raised $16,000 from the community. We had enough to come up with $2,000 a month, and we've had some other donations, but it was just to pay the lifeguards on Saturdays and Sundays, $500, $250 Saturday, $250 Sunday, 5 guys, 5 different towers. They donated some money, time too. Nice. But that was the beginning of it. So it was to start off as a paid program. And we realized, even when people donated, they would say, hey, we donate the money for your, lifeguards, and then we don't see them all week. And I'm like, well, we don't have enough funds to keep the lifeguards on the tower 7 days a week. So that's when we knew then that we were going to have to go to some kind of other solution. And as the years went on, it just turned out that a piece of property came up in front of my property that had a building existing from a youth hostel.
Yep.
And Matias, my Argentinian friend, who was also more of the push, who's a real certified lifeguard from us, Mar del Plata, in Argentina. He had been monitoring the beaches for a few years in 2010, say to 2014, with 2 or 3 friends, with the fins just walking, because our numbers were growing so much, and we were having these drownings, a couple here, a couple there, numbers were growing, drownings were growing. It was like, it was starting to be an issue.
Yeah, Costa Rica had more drownings than the U.S.
Yeah.
All of the U.S.
Wow, that's
just
scary.
To get you on a little bit of our statistics of, I had no idea when I got into it. Matias approached me to build some towers, some sort of tower out of some bamboo that I grow for this coming up Semana Santa, Easter Holy Week kind of thing, where the numbers of the people just come down and they like to drink and they like to party.
Yeah.
They like to fish off the rocks, and they get
all the
swapped,
crazy stuff.
dropped off the rocks. A lot of drunken fishermen. There were always these people were drowning, and so they came to me, and I said, "Yeah, I can make you some towers. How many towers do you need?" And he goes, "We only need 3, because 2 for Santa Teresa, 1 for Carmen." And I said to him, "What about Playa Hermosa, or another beach a little farther up the coast? And it's very popular, but there's a gap of long, flat coastline that there's no real people.
Yeah.
And so it's a separated zone kind of thing." And he goes, "Listen, we don't have the manpower. We only got I got 5 or 6 guys. We're going to work these 3 towers. We got it figured out." And I made a joke. I said, "We don't care about the people in Hermosa kind of thing, right?" And he goes, "Just, we don't have the manpower. It's just not possible right now."
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Okay, I'll make you 3 towers." And I didn't think anything about it. About 3 days later, that's when the double drowning happened in Hermosa.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh my God, we're making another tower first off, and we got to do something." And then everybody just met at our place. The association just basically formed with so much passion. A retired lifeguard named John from Florida came and was living here, and he came down and hung out and kind of guided everybody and helped, and his wife. And we're like, "Yeah, let's make the association. Let's get the domain name. Let's start it." We printed shirts. We made stickers. We kind of got the energy. A lot of fundraisers, a lot of pizza parties, a lot of, events and bike races and competitions and different things.
Isn't it incredible, the power of community when everyone comes together and what can be achieved?
And the passion as well. I can see how much passion you guys have, and it's very admiring to see. Sometimes through adversity and through tragedies like the double drowning at Hermosa, the fact that you guys go, "Nah, I'm building that extra tower. I'm doing these things. We're creating this amazing Santa Teresa Lifeguard service community," and hats off to you guys. It's amazing.
You just mentioned there, Thomas, statistics. So how many rescues and how many drownings? Give us some of your statistics.
Well, Avalon, she's...
Last year we had 1,642 preventions.
Yeah.
108 first aids, 192 rescues, and 3 CPR cases.
Yep.
Wow! And did you have any drownings last year?
Last year, no, we had 0. We haven't had any drownings until
with the lifeguard on duty. Yeah, we've had some below. We
8 years straight. We
the
had
body
no
surfer
drownings,
drowned
no deaths
from hitting his head. He was unconscious, quickly.
That is amazing. Incredible. Just think of the lives you've saved.
Think of the lives you've saved, guys. It's amazing.
We do all that with a shortage of lifeguards. In the rainy season is when we have a shortage, and even though we have less lifeguards, we still manage to not have any deaths. So that's amazing.
That's a good point. When she's just mentioned there that the September, August, and October are our 3 hardest months to find volunteers. So that's what we've been trying to reach out to Australia and New Zealand for 9 years and get you guys on board. And I know your clubs and your swimming, your life saving, your nipper, everything's so strong, and they love to send people away. I spent one trip in New Zealand a long time ago. There was some the All Black hopefuls in the rugby world, and I know how the Kiwis really and Aussies their clubs, and they really want to send their crew abroad, and then take in visitors from abroad. It's always kind of that style that I'd always admired of Australia, and with their surf club, fishing, or the swim club, or the rugby,
they're big on clubs,
whatever it is, So we've been trying to get that gap, filled, and we've had only 1 Kiwi from Taranaki. We've had a couple Aussies, very few. It's mostly, RGs, number 1 percentage, and then we have Chileans and Uruguay come in there probably, and then some French are filling in a lot, and English, England, and a lot of Americans too. So it's a real mixing pot. And it's international. The guys love it. They're always rotating through, and they bond together while they're there. They get in shape, they train, they got the use of the gym, they got bikes to ride around, they got surf 100 meters away. The town's full of a lot of young people, a lot of young girls, right? And so, everybody's kind of happy, like it's a young party scene a little bit. We have to keep
Maxie,
them.
you're on your way. Maxie will be on his way.
I was going to say, it's definitely something. I'm just getting my mind thinking now. We do a lot of traveling with Live, Learn, Survive, but I'd love to come and see you guys one day.
Yeah, we'd love to have you.
To be able to just see how you guys work in the flesh, just to watch you guys, and then also just share a bit of knowledge from what I do, and then learn some stuff from you guys as well. But it's not always a one-way street, and that's what I always try to educate people. There's certain skills and ways that you do things that we probably don't do in Australia, but probably would work here in Australia. So I'd love, we'll be in touch. We'll be making sure, and I'd love to come over and do a week or so.
I have researched the nearest airport, Maxie, just out of interest as I was doing my geography homework. So you just took on your...
I wanted to just talk a little bit about that Costa Rica gets 150 drownings per year.
Yeah.
Okay. And outside of America, more Americans drowned or die in Mexico. And the second country where Americans die is Costa Rica. So the American embassy is aware of this, and they're trying to put money into this and fight this problem. There's about 7 or 8 towns, Tamarindo, Limon, Puerto Viejo, Nosara, and Jaco, and Capos, and Manuel Antonio. These beaches are all funded by the government, and there is government support, but they get private support too. We're just one of the newer 8th or 9th on the list of associations where we do not receive funding.
Yeah.
Right? We're kind of independent. We kind of like it that way. We do have some high profile people that support us and buy some quads here and there. We have 2 quads that we run on rescue. We have a hotline number. We're covering, I don't know, about 6 or 7 kilometers. Santa Teresa is 2 kilometers, and then it goes a little bit into Malpais. There's another beach. So it's a fair range. We send our guys out on bikes, and so we're always looking for, social media help to help support us on social media. To get our our base up. We're around 7,000 followers. We're trying to get it up a little bit to do some GoFundMe and kind of thing, accounts. And we're always looking for medical supplies.
Yeah.
We're looking for
anyone can
fitness
contribute.
equipment. Fitness equipment.
Everyone has something.
Even psychological support. We meet, psychologists in town, and when we have trauma or near death or drowning, kind of victims and stuff like that, we're like, hey, contact this person. Different languages. We need French, English, Spanish. Different languages to help our volunteers if there's a problem. We hopefully can hook up the number and Skype somebody to decompress them a little bit.
Incredible.
Also, I just want to talk about one thing before we wrap up. That I think the United Nations has recognized that drowning is the number 3 cause of unintentional deaths.
Yes.
Are you guys aware of that kind of deal, right? And so, to me, we were lucky that our model worked where we had the means to purchase this piece of land and renovate it because Matthias was a fitness instructor and had a small booty camp thing going on the beach with a small gym at his house. So we kind of moved the gym over to this building and just extended the roof and made this outdoor jungle gym that's just taken off. And that's how the moneymaker that runs the proceeds to cover our 6
This is what I was going to ask you about next.
Yeah, that's how it runs that. And so some months we're busy and everybody's in and we're pumping. We have David Hayes, world champion boxers. We just have the German goalie for the national team, the Olympic team in the gym right now. So we have some high profile, but we have a lot of downtime. So it's hard the association never makes money. We're always, buying more shirts or buying more gear or buying stuff. We need to grow.
Reinvesting.
Yeah. And our long-term thing is we only have 1 headquarters for Santa Teresa, but there's 3 beaches. There's Playa Hermosa that needs a headquarters. We just had an academy where Avalon was teaching. Tell them about the academy.
Yeah, we held a 7-day academy in May. It was the first one, and it ran really well. We had some local instructors and also Matthias, the co-founder, and also
There was some
Todd,
doctors
who a
and
paramedic.
EMTs, yeah.
Yeah, EMTs.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was
16.
There were 16 participants.
Yeah.
Some of them that live in Hermosa, and so we gifted them a torpedo, a buoy, and some fins, and they're gonna start doing their own.
We have a tower we built
just
up
like
there
a couple
for them.
hours a day. They're gonna start doing guards there. So
That's awesome
This
stuff,
is
guys.
incredible. Absolutely.
Third training we've done in 9 years. Haven't done a lot of certification. That leads us to the serious issue of why the United Nations recognizes that drowning is the third leading cause of unintentional death. Is I believe that you guys are doing amazing work, and your style of information and education is a key factor.
Early on.
Teaching, swimming, teaching basic survival instinct, buddy system, learning basic, knowledge of ocean safety, land safety, everything. That stuff is like awesome. And you're using, a first world program in a first world country. But there is second world countries and there's third world countries. And so the current means of how we get certified lifeguard instructors, there's not many of them in this world. Like get that certification to teach. Okay. Then you got to pay them to come to your place to teach a course. So then you got to block out a week or 2 weeks of time and advertise before to the, trying to get people interested in taking this course. They have to stop work for 2 weeks. They have to come up with the money for the course, right? Yeah. And in second and third world countries, these are huge problems, right? Trying to get this together. Hence, that's why we've only had 3 certification courses in 9 years. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's just us. And we're like, we're a second world. We're not first. We're not third. We're in between kind of thing. So, but we recognize this from the South Africans who had the United Nations had a convention in Cape Town a couple of years ago before COVID, talking all about the problems and how they were going to address this drowning issue with more education. And I know from you guys probably know too, that it's kind of a strange thing. Over the last 5-10 years, there was a lot of countries that took out money from swimming and education in a lot of different countries around the world, and it was restricted. And then they learned as drowning got more, numbers went up, that they're like, now they're on the back burner and the money's kind of coming back and the awareness is coming. Like I heard even like a year or 2 ago that Germany had, for the first time ever, more kids that didn't know how to swim than ever before in the history of Germany. Yeah. And I hear this random stuff. So I'm saying, to me, it's like we need to change the model, right, of how we go about this, saving the lives, right? And so the only thing we can think of is something that just happened naturally for us, is that we went from a jungle, and we still are very grassroots, very jungle run. We just do everything we can to stay alive and keep people on the towers. We have, jealousy of our locals who don't like the idea of foreigners working the towers in their beach town. They're a little bit macho with that whole thing, right? Yeah. So we're always being political and dealing with that and keeping that image strong. But like for instance, in Nicaragua, there's a lady up there at the beach in a little town where there has been some drownings a lot on her beach, and she's like maybe willing to put a little space where we can make a small bodega, make a little roof, put some weights in there, make a makeshift gym on the beach, and pick a few of the kids from the community that are water kids, that are surfers, that have interest in health and fitness, and get them into the club and say, hey, start working out. Here's the weights. You can work for free, train, get the healthy. See the ones that are focused, see the ones that are working out. Okay, run them, swim them, then do some CPR, do some courses, and then get lifeguards to go around the world to these little areas, kind of connect them. So you've got a local that's running this little makeshift gym. Now they need a lifeguard to come in and really get them up to more levels, teach more information. They don't have to be a teacher. They don't have to be certified. Yeah. They know, they've taken the courses. They're up to snuff. Yeah. But now they can help out that person there and say, listen, okay, let's pick a couple. Let's do a course. We're going to do a certification course, and it's going to be a jungle certification course. Okay. It's not going to be international recognized, but at least we're going to have more people in the community that know how to rescue, start that health, start that model, and just try to duplicate this on small scales or bigger scales and move it around, and try to spread that thing. And so I think we should be making like a documentary about our jungle, experience and how we made this jungle gym, and then try to bring it up in Nicaragua and shoot it and make it like from grassroots and just go for this project. That's my vision, and maybe inspire other people to do it in different countries or whatever. But somehow the model needs to change. Is what we're dealing now with, like I said, very few instructors teaching more people how to be lifeguards. If we want to get the numbers up, we got to just do it a little bit more underground, I think.
Absolutely.
Because economics, I don't know how you feel, but
some of the things that we do, it's like we're not a course, but it's just that like little bit of information that might spark curiosity, that might send them on asking the next question, a little bit more interest. They may want to be, a lifeguard like Maxie. They may want to be, just those, simple steps that will make a difference, seconds count on the ground in that moment when something goes wrong.
They know exactly what to do.
They know what to do. It can change a life.
Yeah, I really admire. That'd be a really cool idea. I'm sure someone, if you build up the script or how it would look to do that, but that jungle rescue would be pretty cool. I reckon that'll be awesome to see, because it'll be inspiring for people all across the world to go, hey, I've got this backyard. We have a lot of drownings. We have these situations. We've got kids or people that are in and out of the surf all the time. Let's teach them some skills like these guys. And so awesome.
So with your gym now, so I'm curious to know how like with the funding and like all your lifeguards are volunteers. So do people pay to use the gym, and then that helps, keep the lights on and if you've got people coming in from, other areas and things like that, is that how it works?
Yeah, we tell them about the restaurant programs.
You should tell them about.
You like the food.
We love food. Tell us about the restaurant.
It's the best part. It's all the donated.
She works for
meals.
bananas, we say.
Yeah.
Right?
I love it.
Yeah. We made a deal with a lot of the restaurants, and so.
Yeah, basically, so we have a lady, Dina, who comes and cleans and cooks for the house, for the lifeguard house.
She's from Nicaragua. Yeah.
And so she cooks a meal 5 days a week, Monday to Friday. So
breakfast and lunch.
No, just lunch.
Just lunch. Okay,
yeah.
That's right.
And then on the weekends, we have restaurants around the town. They donate 2 or 3 free meals for our lifeguards, and it's a really nice program. It's an easy way that they can support us, financially, because economically it's really expensive to have businesses here. But they don't have enough money to donate monthly to our program. So instead they just give like a meal or 2.
That's great.
So the lifeguards are coming to volunteer.
No. We have one place that donates 4 meals, but most of them are 2. We have different meals for Saturday.
But there's
and Sunday.
10 restaurants, or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of restaurants. So
Yeah.
they're always constantly going for dinner here or dinner there.
Yeah, for sure. So the lifeguards come and work their time volunteering, but now they've got somewhere to stay, and the town look after them for food and things like that. So it's an amazing experience.
They come up with their breakfast money, and
they have some commodities in the house. They have like free coffee, tea, oats, some free fruit, and then basically they get free accommodation, 1 free meal a day, and they have a free gym. So it's really nice for the community to work out side by side with lifeguards. You can meet lifeguards.
What an opportunity for a young lifeguard traveling.
Yeah, it's really nice for them. And then they surf all morning, and then they just have to work half of the day.
Yeah, these groups, guys, they come we had a group of 2 or 3 that came from the Baltic area, and they made from Poland.
Rescue.
Yeah, Baltic Rescue, and
we know Rob and the crew at Baltic Rescue.
Rob,
that's awesome.
We know Rob. We've done some stuff. We've done some stuff with Rob.
friends
We've
that
done
come,
some
a
stuff
small
with
world.
Rob
That's cool.
in the past. He's part of our online program that we started, which we're in the process of making it bigger and better. But yeah, we met Rob through our online program.
Yeah.
And he's a champion. He does stuff up at Myrtle Beach as well, up in North or South Carolina.
One of the Carolinas. I'm not sure
One of
which
the
one it
Carolinas.
is. So,
but I've after this chat, I'm going to go through and I'm going to Google Map that whole area you're talking about, the beaches. I'm just going to like visualize just to get my head around. But yeah, Rob, I'm vaguely remember Rob going down to you guys. So I'll check it out.
I'm interested in your educational program, teaching the kids about ocean safety and ocean mindedness. Yeah. If we could get any of that stuff, we could translate it to Spanish,
That'd be great.
Would be
yes, we have just had, we have some
all over the world, right? It's like the Cuban Spanish, and the Barcelona and, our Tico Spanish.
This is
here we have to make it Tico Spanish. Right?
Yes, and I'm not sure if you're aware, but we'll get some sent to you. So we have the books, and we have some lifeguards in Mexico that have translated their first book into Spanish for us.
Oh, beautiful!
Oh, wow.
And one of our goals is to get the books into into Spanish, so that children in your area of the world can get the books and be reading and learning, because the books are all about, the first book is all about water safety, what to do if you get caught in a rip. They're great little books. So there's truth, my brain is going a million miles an hour now at the moment, but one of the things we can definitely do, I will get you some books sent. Currently they're in English. But then the other thing that I will do, now we have the charity, we are looking at our online program and how we're going to actually just like do a bit of a refresh of it all. And our charity will be able to sponsor some of your younger people into there
to learn,
so they
skills.
Can listen to the videos that Maxi does and learn some skills. So we will 100% organise that.
And those skills are not just water or lifeguarding background. That's fire safety. That's first aid, CPR,
dislocations, things like simple things like the concussions, EpiPen, so anaphylactic reactions. We talk about health and well-being as well. You did talk about before about how lifeguards and yourselves deal with stress, and it's very important as a first responders of fire, when we go to a real traumatic fatality or a really bad job, we have that support there. But for people like yourselves that you're saying sometimes you don't get that support, it's very important to make sure that you come together as a group and you make sure that everyone's okay by checking in with them, making sure that they have that support, and always not just once but constantly check in with them. And then if you can, and it's a great idea, trying to get a translation into different languages to seek that support and that help, because it's very important to look after your mental health. And also your physical health as well, but mental health is a big part for first responders. So it's something that we absolutely. So what is the next?
We can translate anything into Spanish. Our Costa Rican Spanish, Espanol.
Yes.
Yeah. The Mexican would be good too, but any literature you have on any of that stuff, all that stuff is great, and we can make it in like, I don't know if somehow we can get the format where we can print it out in pages and we laminate it, and make little books.
Yes.
So we can have some hard copy to have sitting on the table in the the volunteer, or we can take to the schools, or something. We'll make hard copy books. Think of that. We're going to print every page and bind it and make a book.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Absolutely. And that I reckon that's a good because a little bit like yourself, we have now the charity, and every printing a book in another language is a whole project on itself. So I think that's a great midway step. So I think that's great. That's the next question.
So the next question here, guys, so we're towards the back end of the podcast. What is next for Santa Teresa Lifeguards? Like, what's next? What are you guys planning towards or wanting to achieve? I know we spoke about it just before, but what is next?
What are your short-term goals?
Short term, we have long term too. Right?
Yeah,
We are. Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Yeah, so we have another headquarters in Hermosa. We're helping the Hermosa community design their program, how it suits them. Maybe it's not a gym they need to fund their program. Maybe it's like a restaurant. I don't know, some kind of business. Also,
Carmen.
Yeah, we just need, and also, we eventually in the future to get lifeguards at Carmen.
Permanent.
We man the towers there, but they need a headquarters as well.
It's too far away for us. It's like sending them on bicycles on long, journeys.
The thing we can't stress enough is just getting more lifeguards. We need more lifeguards full all year round.
August,
instead of getting
September,
one
October.
Australian per year, it'd be great to get like 4 or 5 or more.
Yeah. Well, we have, like with our social media, and we'll definitely, put some stuff out for you.
Thank you so much.
One thing that would be good, and just getting in closing, would be because the weather here is so good all year round, it doesn't matter what month, whatever month would be good for Australians or the Kiwis to get away.
Our rainy season is their
winter. That's right.
Yeah.
And so we were thinking about trying to get together like a lifeguard competition, an international competition here to network, to grow with, other lifeguard associations, to get more lifeguards, So we always thought this would be a good place to do, to have the swimming race, have the running race, have the torpedo, have a couple. I don't know. You guys you have the whole Olympics of it and everything.
An event to bring the community together to watch lifeguards compete. Swim,
it would be a good fundraiser thing, and volleyball, kind of deal, everything, beach community,
like a mini world lifeguard games.
Something like that. That's one of our dreams and visions, is to pull that off.
I think we plant the seed on that, because that might be something that we can
help with.
Put on the put a date in the calendar in the future, and we'll
try and build,
and we'll see what we can make it happen. Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
We also want to give a shout out to my wife, Christine, who's also part of the lifeguards. We're our whole family. She does a lot of the accounting and behind the scenes, and meets and greets, and looks after a lot of the lifeguards too.
Well, we're going to say hello, Christine.
Yeah.
Thank you for all your help and for all your for all your support for the locals of the Costa Rican community of Santa Teresa.
Absolutely, because as a family, what you are doing, and your energy and passion is just coming through the screen to us like in bucket loads. And it's hard to, when you say what's a short-term vision, because I get very much a sense of feeling you're like Maxie and I. We have big goals, we have big visions, and you just take them off, don't you, bite-sized chunks, and one step leads you to the next step. And look what you've achieved in 9 years. Yeah. Congratulations, guys. It's an absolute testimony to the people you are and what you've done for your community.
And it's a lifestyle as well. It's something that you're so fortunate. You have a really tight family that can give so much to people, and it's a testament in time. So keep up.
And I know what you're saying about your climate. I've looked, and I think that your climate would be very similar to far north Queensland in Australia. So Cairns and that kind of area. And they almost have a separate, their wet season is, so their season is winter for the south of Australia, and their wet season is summer. So when like November to March is their wet season. And quite often they may get cyclones and things like that. It's kind of, they are like the opposite to basically anywhere that, if sort of Australia, sort of south of Brisbane, is like what we would say summer is sort of, November, December, January, February. Whereas, their wet season, I think, would be more aligned with your climate.
Yeah. So like I said, we'll definitely, when this podcast comes up, myself and Lee are on holidays at the moment when this is out. Yeah. But this is going to be out. We'll make sure that people know about you guys.
Yeah, 100%. You're friends now, and that's the way we go. We pick people up. We're mates, and we anytime that we can help you, you just like, message us.
And Thomas, I forgive you, mate. That dad joke at the start. So do you want to tell everyone?
Come on, give us your dad joke, Thomas.
Why do Australians? Why do they have 4X?
Why do they have 4X, Thomas?
Why do they?
Because they can't spell beer.
That is good. That's the second time I've heard it. And I really like
we've only been friends now, Thomas, for 45 minutes, and the banter has already started. And I couldn't be happier. I couldn't be happier. So, one thing to finish off, I'm not sure if you're aware, but we have a Rescue Squad and a Live, Learn, Survive playlist on Spotify. And everyone that comes on our podcast, we ask them for their upbeat song that, is maybe on in the tower or on at the beach.
It can be two.
You can have two songs.
Avalon and
Avalon and
Thomas.
give us your songs for the
don't
playlist.
Really promote having our lifeguards rocking out on the towers, right?
Okay, all right, not in the tower then, at the gym.
It happens, right? We allow
at
it.
The gym.
At the gym, getting ready for the tower.
At the gym, there's a lot of music there. There's Alice, who you met, she'll help us figure that out and get the right soundtracks to you guys for sure.
Okay.
So have you got a song, just like if your favorite song?
Favorite song at the moment then?
No, we're gonna say "My Hips Don't Lie" by Shakira.
Hey!
Because Shakira's in our town right now.
Is she really?
She's here and she's driving our town up and down.
All right,
we will take that.
Our friends are giving her surf lessons right now, and she's about 4.5 feet tall. Okay, it's incredible. She's hitting me on the tail. I'm not supposed to be talking about it, but yeah, she's here, and she's bringing her boyfriend Lewis Martin here, or Lewis Hamilton, the Formula One race there.
Yeah. We know all about Lewis. We'll say
we don't even know who he is over here. We don't. Right?
As an English-born girl, I absolutely know who he is. He's a superstar.
So and Avalon, have you got a song, a favorite song that you really like, or I would
say the new Top Gun song. I think it's by One Republic. Yeah.
Oh yes. Wasn't that a good movie?
Finally a good remake.
Republic.
All right. I Ain't Worried. Counting Stars.
Yeah, don't worry.
Sorry, I Ain't Worried.
I'm not worried.
Yeah.
I'm not worried.
Yeah.
Yes.
That song.
Is that it?
Yep. They play this song on some of our Instagram reels because it goes really good with the lifeguard workouts.
Yeah, nice. Well, it's added to the playlist on Spotify. So if you are looking for it, Max's Rescue Squad playlist.
Yep.
It's on there, and keep an eye out.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. I should have said my favorite song was the Bee Gees' "Staying Alive" because that's the CPR song. Right?
The CPR one.
Yeah.
It's already in there. It's already in there, and we've actually gone around the world with kids with "Staying Alive." Great song.
Yeah.
So important. This has been a great chat. We've loved it.
Thank you so much.
And you know what, guys? Yeah. We'll keep in touch, and we'll let people know about what you guys are doing. But we'll do a podcast in maybe 6 months' time to see how things are traveling and how things are going. We'd love to come over.
Come on to Costa Rica anytime.
I'd love to come over there, guys. So we'd love to do some training sessions. And once we get, the whole point of us being up in Newcastle right now is to plan the online space.
Yeah.
So we will be able to talk around the table today about how we can incorporate lifeguards on the other side of the world to be able to learn stuff as well. So hopefully we can get that program to you guys sooner rather than later, and we can learn all together and be bigger and better and save people's lives.
Yeah.
All right.
Amazing. Stay safe. Give everyone our love.
Guys.
Say hi to all the lifeguards and the team, and we will make sure we do this again in a few months, and we'll see how we're all tracking.
Okay.
Yeah, we look forward to it.
In Costa Rica, we say "Pura Vida."
Pura vida.
Pura vida. Love it.
Your life. All right. Thank you.
Guys. Thank you
Take care.
so much.
All right. We'll see you. Over and out.